Good morning, students. Morning. Today we are going to start our fifth unit, that is object-oriented programming, in which we are going to discuss different topics like what is object, what is class, what is attribute. Okay. So what is the behavior structure of object programming? Okay. Inheritance, polymorphism. So like these topics we will discuss. So first of all, we should know what is object-oriented programming. How it is different from traditional programming. Okay. So here, in any programming language, we have two types of programming types. So one is traditional programming, and one more is object-oriented programming. So till now, whatever we discussed up to fourth unit, so that is the traditional programming. So especially in this fifth unit, we are going to discuss object-oriented programming. So what is object-oriented programming? Object-oriented programming is like a programming paradigm. It contains classes and objects instead of using functions and loops. Okay, so conditions. So in this object-oriented programming, you are not using any functions. You are not using any conditions. Okay, so in a simpler way, object-oriented programming is a real-world suitable programming. Okay, so by user, so we can create a real-world suited programs. Okay, so in a simple, it contains class, object, and attributes and methods. These four are the pillars of object-oriented programming. So we can observe here. So here these four are the pillars for object-oriented programming. So this is simple architecture. Okay, in which we don't have any functions. Actually, the traditional programming contains functions. So many functions are there. Okay, so many libraries are there. So many conditions are there. So many loops are there. Instead of using those functions and libraries and loops and conditions, simply we implement a real-world problem-solving programs. Okay, so if you have any problem, so without using functions, without using loops, so we will implement this type of programs by using classes and objects. Okay, so here, first of all, we should discuss class. What is class? And we will discuss what is object. What is object? So then we will discuss attribute, and we will discuss methods. Okay, so these four are interlinked. So these four depends on with each and other. Okay, so class is an instance. Class is the main instance. Okay, so here class and objects both are related. So here object is an instance of class. Object is an instance of class. So we can see in the next slide. So here class. So first of all class. Next we have the object. So here object is instance of class. So first we should understand the class. Class is a blueprint. So blueprint for your real world application problem. So class is like a real world application of problem. So whatever, if you want to do anything, first of all we should have the blueprint. So actual plan. So that plan or blueprint comes under the class. Okay. So in the blueprint we have certain modules, certain number of modules. So each of module is called object. So class is like a blueprint. Class is like a blueprint. So it contains number of modules. Each module is called as an object. Okay. So object is an instance of blueprint. Okay. Simply object is one of the module in the class. So class contains different modules. Class contains different modules. So class is like a blueprint. So our college building is there. So in that, so we have certain blocks, pharmacy block, okay, engineering block, MBA block, and sports. So different blocks are there. Okay. So the entire college is like a class. Okay. In that, we have different modules. Okay, so this each and every module is like a object. Okay, so this engineering block is one module. That MBA block is one module. So pharmacy block is one module. Okay, so if we combine all these modules, all these objects, you will get the class. Okay, so there is an interlink between class and object. So class is the original name. So it is like a blueprint. It contains several modules or several objects. So object is an instance of the class. So several instances combinedly will give the class. Okay, then what is attribute and what is method we will discuss later. So to clear out, so we can observe one example. So here we are seeing the blueprint of car. Okay, so we are not discussing the color of the car. We are not discussing the model of the car. Okay, just here we have the blueprint, means top view, side view. Okay, different blocks. So different blocks are they are observing. So it is like a blueprint. So whatever, so blueprint here we are seeing. So that is comes under the class. Once see, a class is a template or blueprint. So used to create objects. So the main thing. So here the main thing is college area. In this college, we created several blocks. Okay, first we should have some name. Okay, so class is like that. So a class is like a blueprint. So in that several modules are there. So it has different what we call so modules like engine part. Okay, so rail part. Okay, so next wheel part. So next top. So top. So like this. So several sections are there. So in a class of car. So we can say one example for the class is car. Example. Okay. So here car is one example for the class. So like that our college. College is one example. Next student. Student is one example for the class. Okay. So if we take each and every one, so the car behavior will be different. College behavior will be different. Next student behavior will be different. In sense of different characteristics. If we take car, so we can define in terms of color, in terms of model, in terms of cost, in terms of fuel. So different characteristics will be there. So irrespective of the behavior of the car, just the name. So the original name will define the class. Okay, so after defining the class, we will decide the objects. Okay, so in the first example, if you decide the car, so in an object, so the examples of car, so the color of the car and model of the car. Okay, next fuel type, next seating capacity. Okay, so like these different characteristics are there. So all these are related to what? So car. Okay, these different instances, these different behaviors are related to the car. Then, so the main thing, main name comes under the class, and its behaviors, its characteristics comes under the objects. Okay, so that is why class and the objects both are interlinked with each other. So class is the main name and the objects are the different modules in the class. I think you understand. Okay, so if you take college, so entire area surrounding is the college. In that several different blocks are there. Okay, so in terms of groups, in terms of branches. Okay, so in terms of sports, in terms of what you call faculty, library and facilities, infrastructure. So all these are characteristics of college. Okay, so these characteristics comes under object and the original name comes under the class. So like this, so class will be defined and object will be defined. So just this is the blueprint. So next to see, so drafting the blueprint. So class student. So here, how to define the class? We have to use the keyword class. So we have to use the class. So then the class name. What is the class name here? Student. So then we have to write a actual function for the class. Okay. So we are defining the class. So define display self. Print. This is the class example. Just here we are displaying the class name. Okay. So further we will see the total example for class object total. So just this is the example for the class. How to create the class? So how to create the class? By using the keyword class followed by the class name. Okay. So in the place of student, you can keep your desired class name. Okay, by using the class keyword. Okay. So here function class body. So we have total function body. So next we will see object. Okay. So we can see here this is the blueprint. Okay. So I said blueprint is the class. Okay. Then after, so it is the real world. So it comes to the real world application. So real world application means what is the color of car, what is the model of the car, so what is the seating capacity, so different. So red, blue, green. So like these are there. So red color car means car is the class name, red color is the object. Okay. Next blue color car. So blue is the object name. Okay. Car is the class name. Okay now. So class will divide different objects. Okay. So this is the example for how the object will be. Okay. So here you can see the object, how to create the object. Okay. Suppose here this is the example for class. So what is the class name here? Car. Okay. So here we need to define some function for this car. After that, how that objects are created. So first C1 is equals to what is that car. So we are obtaining the car function. C2 is equals to car. It calls the car class and C1 dot start. C1 dot start. Okay. So next to C2 dot what is it? C2 dot start. So like this, different objects will be there. So in the place of start, we can define color also. Okay. So color of the car. So next to what is the model of the car. So here the objects will be defined like this. Okay. So then we need to obtain the different colors and the different capacity and model. So modeling of the car. So to the objects. So class is the main function. In that we have different objects. Okay. So there the objects is related to the starting of the car. So there may be a stop. Okay, start. Okay, next color, model. Okay, different objects will be there. So like that. So we can define the objects. Okay. So here we can see the differentiation between class and object. Okay, class is like a blueprint. So logical entity doesn't have any memory. Okay, it doesn't occupy any memory. So but object is like a real world application, real world instant. So it is a physical entity. Physical entity means it has the memory. So when we write a program, class doesn't have any memory. Class just a name. So it doesn't have any memory allocation. Okay. So but object is a physical entity. It has a memory. So while creating objects, so we have to allocate a physical memory to store different attributes. Okay. So we will define what is attribute. So attributes are like variables. So variables have the physical memory. Okay now. So next, so second point, that one only, class have the zero memory allocated. So upon definition. So just only definition is there, no allocation of the memory. Next, memory is strictly allocated upon the creation. Object will be allocated with the memory. Okay. So next, so just it is only declared once. Class is declared only once. That is at the top. Okay now. So class is declared only once, but object so number of times, several times we can define. Okay, created multiple times as needed. Okay, now already I said objects are multiple, so all objects combinedly use the class. Okay, so certain instances are called objects. So these objects are will use the so next one. Okay, next defines structure and behavior. Okay, so just what it is. So the main structure will be defined in the class, and it holds the actual values and executes the behavior. So the actual function will be in the so next the next concept is attributes. So attributes are what we call so behavior are actual values of the objects. Okay, like a variables. So what are attributes? Attributes are like a variables. So to create objects, so we need to define different variables. Like a color. Color is one variable. So into that we need to create. We need to assign different colors. Model. Okay. So suppose color is one object. Color is one object. So we need to define like a red. Red is like a attribute. Okay now. So next. So model. So model is an object. Model is an object. So Toyota. Okay. Toyota. So it is an attribute. Means original values or original variables. So assigned to the object names. So we have several objects. So to that objects we need to assign original values. So these original values are treated as variables. So which contains different values. So these can be stored assigned to the so what objects. Okay, I think you understand what is attribute. So actual values. So objects are like names of the objects. Okay, next the last one, methods. So here you can see some examples of attributes. So student ID card. Student is the class name. Okay. So into that, so we have several details. Name and age. Name is one object. Age is one object. Ravi and 20. Ravi is the one value. Okay. So that is attribute. Okay now. So name is the object and Ravi is the attribute. Age is the object. 28. So 28 is the attribute. Okay. Similar way. So second example, S1, S2. So S1, S2. So these two are what we call. So examples were attributes. So attributes stored to the objects. Okay now, I said that one only on. So attributes are stored into the objects. Okay now. Next, so methods. So methods are functions. So which defines the original logic. So what to perform by using objects and by using classes. So the original method is a function. So it contains the main logic what to do. So suppose here start is there. Before start operation is there. Okay. So if I use this object, so what function to be done? I should maintain the code here. Okay, the original logic implemented. So the implemented code is comes under the method. So then only that particular object will be executes perfectly. So without method, so we don't have, we cannot execute the program. Okay now. So here there is a flow from object to class. So several objects will use the class. Okay now. So these objects will be assigned with attributes. Okay. Then how to execute, how to operate these attributes. So defined in the methods. Okay now. So if there is a car, so car, how to work with the car? We have several aspects. So we need to start initially. Okay now, start. So there is a engine, how to function it. First gear is there, second gear is there, okay, reverse gear is there. Okay now. So we have functioning operation in that. So if we just starting only car time? So no, only starting is not needed. So we need to operate it, okay, based on the movement, based on the speed. We need to control, so the gear system, etc. So here engine comes into the function, okay. So based on engine function, we need to drive it, okay. So in a similar way, the object programming also has these several what we call, so 4 pillars, okay, class, object, attribute, methods. So with these 4 and along with these we have several what we call, so polymorphism, so inheritance concepts also there. So these defines the how to work with the object oriented programming.